Hey everyone, welcome back to From Concept to Code. My name is Rue from Pixelspace. Today we will be building our own Carpentry website in under 10 minutes with Lovable. We're going to use the voice-to-text mode in Lovable to get started. This just means we can basically discuss with Lovable using our voice what we want to build and then convert that to text and get started. We'll use the chat mode as well so that we can have that conversation. Lovable can ask us any questions before it starts building. We can make sure that we're aligned and then we can actually kick off with the actual implementation of the website. I find it's better to have that conversation first rather than just kind of jumping into the build. Otherwise, you end up with a site which doesn't necessarily align with what you're looking to create. And also it's a little bit more difficult to go back and make changes once the site's been generated for the first time. I would much prefer to have everything kind of right at the start, and then we can make those improvements from that point onwards. To get started, you can see I've turned on the chat mode and I'm going to click the voice to text button. And so now it's recording our voice. So, hey Lovable, I'd like to build my Carpentry website. I would like it to be a single page website with static text, no back-end integration with it. I wanted to have different sections, so a hero section, but I don't want a big, large background image. I want maybe some introductory text on the left-hand side and a nice image on the right-hand side and some light animations on that when the page loads as well, just to make sure that people aren't overwhelmed with a big graphic and make sure that the text is actually nice and readable there. The next section I'd like is an about section, just to talk about the business, maybe myself, the history of the business as well. And then I would like a services section, a gallery section, and a contact section as well. For the contact section, I want it to be my email and phone number. I don't really want to have a form where people kind of submit things, because then there'll be extra, like a backend which I might have to create to actually send that form and everything. So I'll just keep it really nice and simple for the moment. One thing to note is that my business is focused around restorations. So it's a restoration carpentry business, and I'd like everything to be positioned around that. And if I didn't mention it already, I want you to use AI imagery in the site, and then at a later point, I can replace those images with my own images to use. But for now, just to keep things quick and nice and succinct, we'll use some AI generated images. So now that that's finished, I submit that to Lovable. It's going to process that audio to text. We'll press go, and then maybe Lovable will ask us a few questions just to make sure that we're aligned, and then we'll actually get started with the build. Before I put together a plan, let me clarify a few details to make sure we nail the design and context. So, what's the name of your carpentry business? I'm going to say use a placeholder because I don't actually have a name for the business yet. I need to register it. What design style best represents your restoration carpentry brand? I like industrial and bold, actually. What restoration service do you offer? I offer heritage buildings and structural woodwork, and also custom joinery as well, but I don't do furniture restoration. I'm more into kind of large scale buildings. Who are you building for? I build for a client, building for someone else. And then now that I've answered all the questions, I get to review them. I can submit, and now we'll get some more context back from Lovable. Maybe it has more questions or it comes up with a plan. And then when we're ready, we can implement that plan. We can basically just keep talking as much as we want to until we're happy to get started. So, restoration carpentry website, design direction, industrial and bold, hero section, about, services, gallery, contact section, single page layout, static content, AI generated. Perfect. So I'm happy with that, and I think we can go ahead and implement the plan. Now, it's going to build the sections which I've asked for. There's not going to be other pages. I can always go and add more pages in the future. For example, on the services section, I might want to be able to click a service and go and view like a bunch more information about that specific service. Maybe you have brochures, pricing information, any other details that someone might find relevant on your carpentry website. But for me, I'll keep it simple, and then we'll see what we can do within these 10 minutes if we can add more. It's created itself a set of tasks, and it's going to work through those tasks. And if I click this show all button, I'll be able to see each of the pages that it creates. And then when it's done, we'll get a nice preview of the site, which we can make changes to, and we can also publish. So we're building out the navigation, the hero section, the about section, services section. Let's let it carry on and see where we get to. While this is doing its thing, something to note is if you wanted to, you could add a backend to this system. So for example, if you had customers who had ongoing projects with you maybe, you could get them to log in and you could actually allow them to see the progress of your projects. You could allow them to make requests. You could do the invoicing and the payment management through that. Lovable basically allows you to integrate any functionality you could possibly dream of. Obviously, you have to make sure that what you build is secure and safe so that it's protected. And Lovable offers many security checks which you can run, especially if you're using Lovable Cloud. It's kind of all integrated in one. So they do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to RLS policies, which is row level security. And that's all about making sure that your tables are nice and safe. I think that if you wanted to build out a bigger platform, feel free to check out some of our other videos or just get in touch with us and we might be able to help you as well. So there we go. So our restoration company website is done. Restoring heritage with craft. It's a really nice site. You can see it's gone with square edges, and I find that there's a massive difference in a platform between whether square edges or curved edges are used. It changes everything, but you want to make sure you're consistent when you use it. We have this hero section. I'll scroll down. There's a header at the top, which is nice and sticky. I can click our services. It goes down to our services section. So we have heritage buildings, structural work, custom joinery. As I said, if we wanted to build that out further, we could go into a lot more detail on those services page. We could also add more services directly on the homepage as well. And we have a project gallery as well, so we can see all of the historic work that's been worked on in our project. As I mentioned, if you wanted to change any of the imagery, you could go ahead and click attach, and you could put in the images that you want, so upload them. You could say, hey, Lovable, replace the images in the project gallery. It would go ahead and do that. Alternatively, if you connect to database, you can create something called a storage bucket, which allows you to store the images and then retrieve them onto the front end. So you could have a database full of hundreds of different gallery images. You could make it so that when the page loads, you load 10, 15 images and it randomizes them each time. Also, on the services page, for example, you might want to showcase some specific examples of the services that you've provided before. So you can have a little services gallery, and then the storage bucket would be linked directly to those specific images. And then when the page loads, you'd load in those ones. Scrolling down the page, we have a Let's Talk section, phone number, email, and location as well. Obviously, we can update any of that as we want to. We can prompt Lovable directly. We can also click the visual edits button if we wanted to as well. Hover over the specific section we're looking to edit, and then sometimes you can just directly type in there and edit the text. Alternatively, you can prompt Lovable to make that change. So I'll add a 2 to the phone number there. I'll click save, and now we've updated that. Nice inline, really simple, anyone can do it. I'll add one more section, I think, which will be a case study section. So add case study and testimonial section, just so people can see some of the work that we've done, like actual case studies around it. Again, maybe we could add a new page for case studies so we can go see them on a full screen. And then the testimonials are just to see some feedback from people. I think what I'll actually do whilst it prompts this is I'll ask it to add individual case study pages. And what we'll say is we could use a URL like /case studies and then / and then there's a thing called a slug, which is basically a unique identifier. So we could create, let's say, 5 case studies. It would reuse the same case studies page each time, but we just pass in that slug so that it loads in the relevant details. So add individual case study pages, page with slug, add 5 examples. So we'll get that nice and done just so we can have that and people can view some of the previous work that we've done. And I'll say use AI images as well. So we have case studies. We have a heritage building, Georgian manor restoration, 8 months, era 1780s. You can click view full project. Right now, that doesn't do anything. And fortunately for us, we've just asked Lovable to go and create that page for us. That's perfect. And we have a few other there as well. Other than that, we're basically finished now. So if you wanted to, you could go ahead and click add custom domain in the publish section. It's really simple to add a domain. You click connect domain, you enter the domain that you want, and it will redirect you to your domain provider. And in most cases, it actually allows you to directly log into your domain provider and make those updates in one go. So it does a lot of heavy lifting for you. Alternatively, you'd have to go into your domain provider and update the DNS details. Again, feel free to reach out to us if you want any help kind of doing that. We'll click publish. I'll leave it with the temporary domain that we have in place. So it's just a generated one through Lovable. And you'll see that we have carveastory.lovable.app. So that's their placeholder domain for us, which is perfect. So if I was to go and preview it now, you'll see I can go and access the website. Very nice. If I wanted to, I could also update the favicon at the top by clicking publish again, going to website info and editing these details here. We have another video for that. If you want help, go have a watch of it as well. Great, so we have 5 individual case study pages at casestudy/slug. So let's go and view one of them. So view full project. You can see we have the Georgian manor restoration, the challenge, our solution, the results, and then we also have more projects available there, which is great. That is a really interesting staircase, and that is why AI imagery is still a work in progress. So go and replace your images, make sure you use legit ones, because I don't think I'll be able to walk up that staircase. That's the end of our tutorial. Thanks for watching. If you want to know more, please visit our channels. If you want any help with anything, do reach out. We'd be happy to help you.